Ghana, a beautiful country known for its vibrant culture, rich history, and peaceful democracy, faces a challenge that many have tried to understand for decades: the divide between its two major political parties, the New Patriotic Party, NPP, and the National Democratic Congress, NDC. But what if I told you that this divide isn't just about elections? It's deeper than that. It's about history, ideologies, and something that, despite all efforts, still keeps Ghana's political future hanging in the balance. To understand the rivalry between the NPP and NDC, we need to take a step back, a very important step back. On one side, we have the NPP's roots, which trace back to the anti-colonial movement. The NPP's ideology focuses on free market capitalism, individual freedoms, and economic liberalism. They draw their inspiration from Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, but also from those who opposed his government. Then, on the other side, we have the NDC, founded by former military leader Jerry John Rawlings, who staged a coup in 1979. The NDC embraced a more socialist approach, favoring government intervention, social welfare, and a more hands-on approach to economic development. The NPP, with its democratic leanings, was never quite ready to accept Rawlings's history, and that made reconciliation difficult. The wounds of military rule were still fresh, and many saw the NDC as the party of authoritarianism, while the NPP wore the mantle of freedom and democracy. Fast forward to today, the NPP and NDC are in a constant battle for power. Elections in Ghana have become more than just a choice of leaders. They've become a battleground where each party tries to convince the people that the other is not fit to rule. Every election season, the stakes are high. The NPP argues that the NDC has failed the country with mismanagement, while the NDC claims that the NPP's policies favor the rich and neglect the poor. These accusations are loud, clear, and divisive. And the divide doesn't stop at ideology. There's also a regional and ethnic divide. The NPP has its stronghold in the Ashanti region, while the NDC traditionally gets its support from the Volta region. This has created a sense of us versus them in the political climate. It's not just about policies, it's about identity. The political lines often align with tribal and regional lines, making unity nearly impossible. In the face of major national challenges, whether it's the economy, healthcare, or education, the two parties rarely come together. They rarely share a united vision for the future of Ghana. Instead, they play the blame game. The NPP blames the NDC for the economic crisis, while the NDC blames the NPP for neglecting the poor. Meanwhile, the people suffer. Over the years, there have been attempts at cooperation. Talks of national unity government, dialogues, and initiatives for progress have been raised. But most of these efforts are short-lived. The rivalry is just too deep. Cooperation is often seen as a political compromise, a weakness. Both parties fear that coming together means losing their identity, their power, and their influence over the nation's future. So, what does this mean for the future of Ghana? Can the NPP and NDC ever find a way to put aside their differences for the greater good of the country? It's a tough question. Perhaps the next generation of Ghanaians, who are more interconnected than ever before, can push for a new kind of politics, one where ideas trump tribalism and where the nation's progress comes before party politics. The divide between the NPP and NDC is deep, and the challenges are real. But the future of Ghana doesn't have to be defined by this rivalry. It's up to all of us, the people of Ghana, to decide if we want to continue down this path of division or if we can unite for a better tomorrow.